Thursday morning edition of the 4Ps. Today is the last day of advertising week here in New York, and the echo chamber is going to be a little bit more quiet now that everyone's going home. Speaking of advertising, I've been interested in the influencer marketing space for a decade now. I was there at 360i when we launched the first influencer marketing practice in an agency, and have seen it grow into a billion-dollar business. Evolution has just been fascinating, and the generational receptivity and credibility shifts as you go from boomers to Gen X and Y and now Z has been just interesting to see. Biggest threat, though, in this space is the authenticity factor, and brands need to be wary that not all influencers are created equally. Consumers are increasingly aware that these are paid endorsements. So you're now seeing brands using more micro-influencers to boost that authenticity. Smaller following, greater credibility. This week's Ad Age article actually highlights this trend, but whether or not these micro-influencers will ultimately grow into macro-influencers, whether they can sustain the authenticity as they gain more following, and whether they can actually be fairly compensated remains to be seen. In the meantime, I am hoping that these 4P videos earn me personally some influencer consideration. I mean, we've racked up hundreds of thousands of views in just a few short months. And, well, I mean, I could be a great spokesperson for brands that I believe in. Certainly. You know, I certainly enjoy talking about and using products. Over the past few weeks, I've begun teaching my 7-year-old son how to play golf. I know, me, teaching golf. To teach something implies a mastery, which I will never attain. It requires patience, which I don't have. But it also needs a willing student, and that I do have. Jake he hasn't necessarily embraced team sports, but he's asked to play golf and wants to keep going and has fun when we go to the driving range. And my job is to just not fuck this up. No unrealistic demands, just teaching the basics. Let him swing and get excited at everything he does. Not stress him out, certainly, not myself out, which I probably can do, I think. The biggest mistake that hiring managers make is hiring people who think or act just like them. And this has come up a lot in some of the work that I've been doing recently. Now, it makes sense. You want to trust that you're delegating work to someone who will do what you want, how you want it. But casting for a team requires finding a variety of talent and different modes of thought. Now, you might think I'm an extrovert, right? Because I'm social and I like to talk. But it's not just about being social. Introverts extract their energy from within, while extroverts absorb it from the outside world. So instead, sharing a concrete long-term goal with your employees is going to be key. Not whether they're all introverts or all extroverts or all share certain qualities and characteristics. Understanding that different psychologies can lead to an even better team is critical. So embrace the differences, bring on the battles, cast the right characters, put aside discomfort, and understand that no one person can offer everything. Panicking Republicans on the floor of Congress or during campaign stops like to call Democrats socialists. But guess what? Capitalism is really failing. Almost every expert is predicting that economic growth will slow over the next 50 years, while inequality will rise by 40%, at least in Western countries. And we've had 6 recessions since 1973, culminating in the last one in 2008 in that financial crisis. Governments come and go, but stability is derived from currency, and currency that isn't backed by gold or silver only derives its value solely from the state and the state that issues those notes, right? And this is weakened by over-financialization. Stagnant incomes in the workforce are compensated with credit given by banks, loans, mortgages, credit cards. That then creates global imbalances, and the differences between a given country's imports and exports of goods and services and investments ultimately we need to think differently. Capitalism is founded upon property ownership, but property ownership matters less and less in our evolving information-based world. That's increasingly happening thanks to technology and innovation. It's not working, but we're too stubborn to realize it. Now, maybe socialism isn't the answer, but capitalism is really only benefiting the top 0.00001%. And if you're wasting your time watching this, my guess is that you don't fall into that category. Don't worry, neither do I.